So Ash is actually a relatively new member, and he is the implementation coach helping small businesses find clarity. And he is going to be talking to us about the nature of success. So round of applause for Ash.
Didn't look anywhere near as bad from there. I'm going to just tell you a short story. Take you back a couple of 100 years to a field in China. And our hero, our protagonist of this story, wakes up one morning, goes to his field, little patch of earth, his piece, wanders over, digs a little hole in the ground, lays down some seeds, waters it, covers the earth over, walks away, goes home, goes to bed, comes back the next day, has had some sunshine, waters it, gives it a little bit of food, goes home. Comes back the next day, waters it, a bit more food, some sunshine, goes home. And he does this every day, day after day after day after day, for a year, with nothing to show for it. Year 2 starts, goes to his little patch of ground, waters it, bit of food, lots of sunshine, goes home. Another year passes, nothing to show for it. 3 years pass, nothing to show for it. And he keeps going. And his fellow farmers in the village, they're saying to him, "What are you doing? Whatever you've buried there, he's dead. Why don't you plant some rice and we can have some food?" And the farmer smiles, walks over to his little patch of ground, keeps watering it, adds a little bit of food, some sunshine, and goes home. Year 5. Year 5. Farmer goes over to his little patch of ground, well trodden, well watered, plenty of sunshine. And there's this little shoot just poking up out of the ground. It's about this big, tiny. And he just smiles. What does he do? I'll tell you. He waters it, bit of food, some sunshine, and goes home. Comes back next day, and this shoot is just a little bit bigger. Bigger smile. Feels like he's getting somewhere. What does he do? Thank you very much. Bit of food,
Sunshine.
some sunshine.
It's like
Do a little song, couldn't we? And a remarkable thing happens over the next 6 weeks, that our farmer, our hero, our protagonist, goes to his little patch of earth. Because over 6 weeks, this tiny little shoot grows from nothing to 80 feet tall in 6 weeks. 30 meters if you're young, unlike me. 80 meters. 80 feet. 80 meters would be ridiculous. The question is, did this little plant, it's called the Chinese bamboo tree, grow 80 feet in 6 weeks? And the answer is no. What it did do is it spent 4 years developing a root system that laid the foundations for its explosive growth over those 6 weeks. I'm a failed athlete. There might be other people in the room who are also failed athletes. If you're not a failed athlete and you're a great athlete, I applaud you. Being an athlete is really, really, really hard work. You have to go and practice. And when you're 12, the last thing you want to do is practice. You just want to play. And here's the thing, as I got a little bit older and a little bit more experienced, I realised how important the practice was. And it's the same whether you want to be an athlete, we have a dancer in the room, or run a successful business. You have to practice over and over and over and over again, even when you can't see any success. And the thing is, I put myself up here today not because I think I'm a decent speaker, not because I think putting myself up here will make me a great speaker, but today I'm laying a little bit more root and adding to my foundation so that in time to come, when I've done a few more 1,000 hours, I might be somewhere close to being a decent speaker. Thank you.
Don't run away. Fabulous. So which of our judges wants to go first?
I have a question though. Do you
have a
water
question?
with water or Patron?
Might have gone a bit quicker if it was with the tequila.
Mix with Viagra.
Want me to go first? Okay.
So pass over to Emma.
So, one of the things I do is I work with people about their impact. And one of the things that you were doing subconsciously was that because you were standing, and it's a very, please pardon the expression, it's a very female stance. You didn't have your hand on your hip, but to sort of stand with the hip to one side. Now the only thing with doing that is it slightly turned your body.
Back.
Ah, okay. So where I was sitting, I was like, oh, he's not talking to me because he's turned his back on me and he's not talking to me. So just be aware of that. So if that means that you need to stand further back on the stage so that you're covering everybody, because there's a group of people sitting over there who would love to see your beautiful face. The other thing about impact is having something that everybody can see. So you're very, does anyone remember John Major? He was called the Grey Man. So it's very
You
grey.
have no idea how long I spent in front of the mirror this morning.
Really? Exactly. So does anybody know why I'm wearing red? It's a power colour.
I left that one.
And you know, so.
Yeah, no, fair point.
But even if it's just a dash of colour, because we've got a grey background here, and on the video you want to be seen. You don't want to be like a puppet show in silhouette. You want everyone to be able to see you. And the other thing is, this is very relaxed and you're getting feedback, but it's very protective. This is another impact point. It's another very protective thing, and you're protecting. You're protecting somewhere. And doing that is going, okay, bring it on. So these are just impact points in terms of how you stand and how you deliver. Because we as an audience, we see everything that's wrong before we see what's right. And we can't help it, first of all. So it's not our fault. And it's a negativity bias. And that negativity ratio is 9-1. We will see 9 negatives before we see a positive. Absolutely. Don't give them the negatives.
Cool.
Give them all the positives. Stand there, be taught, be in presence, sorry.
I'm enjoying this. It's fine.
Is that alright? We'll just go for just 2 minutes. Just another thing, pull your trousers up.
How much weight I've lost today?
Perfect. No. But that's what I'm saying, because when you're on a stage, you almost need, they see you from a different angle. So whenever you're speaking, if there's a stage, look at yourself from a different angle. Get somebody to sit on the floor in front of you and tell you what you look like from going upwards. Because it's very, very different when you're higher to seeing you. So I was focusing on the crumple in your trousers, because that's what I was looking at. And it starts to get distracting, and I'm not listening to you, and I want to listen to you because your content was great. Very, very good story. Love the pauses. I'm done, thank you. Well done.
Nothing wrong with Gray, just saying. I love that. I don't know if it was conscious, your use of repetition. Obviously, the story is very repetition, but you really did it with your body as well. You kept really in line with that, and I really like that. You had much more time to really play with that. We did the exercise together right at the beginning, and you were a 5-year-old, weren't you?
Yeah.
You've got a real a comedy part in you, and I saw it when we did the exercise, and I wanted to see more of that character in this story. You're so good at the pauses and kind of the walking part, but there was places where I think you could have gone a bit more on your edge with your comedy, because you could still delivered it with authority but played a little bit more. And when we talk about the stances and stuff, I spoke up here and I spoke about women being sexy and not afraid of feeling their power on stage. I felt like I wanted that from you as well, but I wanted more weight in your body and the way you carried yourself. You was walking and it was really nice and but I wanted more stance, more heaviness from you without saying anything, just more power. And I think that would help with the way you stood on the stage and kind of trying to think how I'm trying to say this. Yeah, it's presence, but it's not being necessarily heavier on your feet, but just having a little bit more aggression in the way you delivered things. Alpha male, yeah. I think I'm pussyfooting around the thing, aren't I? I'm quite happy saying, ladies, get your tits out. But as I'm like, oh, how yeah, just get your inner Adonis out and be that man on stage. But I loved it. I loved the story. I learned a lot. So thank you.
Okay, so first of all, welcome. It's nice to see you on stage. I think your journey is going to be an interesting one because there's a lot of potential there. I remember maybe connect with Harriet because I know when we started working with you, you also have problems and you've really fixed that. So maybe discuss that with Ash, what you do to kind of. The other thing is volunteer up front. Say, look, guys, I might stand a bit funny. I've got a back injury, and just tell the audience that that's what it is. It's okay. No one's perfect.
I didn't realise.
Yeah.
So that's brilliant to know.
Yeah. So just because I was picking up on that, I'm like, it just looks. But now we know why. So either volunteer, have a chat with Harriet because she's really fixed it as well. So find out some techniques now. Are you NLP trained?
No.
Okay, that's interesting because I thought you might be. How you were using a metaphor. We cover that as well in the advanced training. We do a lot of metaphoric training. So for you, again, it was really nice and enticing. But what I would like to have seen is more layers to the story and with your vocals. But because you're quite your auditory, I'm sensing from your tonality, again, when you're describing, and really, it's not about being 5, and then it shot up, and really changing that into your voice. I like the way you started to use the stage, and what you did is anchored very well. You went to the same spot, which is why I was wondering if you're NLP trained. Does anybody know what NLP is? Who doesn't know what I'm talking about? Okay, so it's neuro-linguistic programming, and it's all about how you use various linguistic patterns and using various states to help convey language and change people, which is why I was on. So that's very good. You're very consistent, so you clearly practiced it. Layering the story. And do you only work with business owners?
So far.
Yes. Business owners. Then stick to the angle you know best, right? And that's what I would suggest, because that's what we want to bring out more, is the angle that you know best. So look, I work with this. I'm an expert, da-da-da-da. And you know what? When I work with my business owners, it's all about the seeds. It's all about the water and the sunshine and the moonlight and the good times and the boogie. Yeah? Got it? But great. I'm really looking forward to seeing you work this year.
Yeah.
And by the way, he stepped up to 10 minutes. You know, we were looking for 10 minutes speaking. Ash like, do you know what? I've never done it before. I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah.
So let's give him a round of applause.
One more final round of applause for Ash. Excellent.